fork. Can I hold this fork?
No,
No, hold.
you'll fidget with it.
Yeah.
And then some random on the internet
Then
will
I'm
complain
gonna
about
have to-
you holding the fork. Well, out of all
What's
the people
up
that
with
watch
the fork,
this show.
guys?
I thought that was pretty close. Yeah, we did have it back further.
I was gonna start singing a song, but I figured that'd be a bad idea.
It wouldn't be.
It
Probably
would
be
not.
as good as anything
No,
else
but
we
it
got.
definitely.
Good for a blooper
it
reel.
goes- yeah. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah,
All right,
let's do
so welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. I'm Vaughn,
I'm Wilson.
and we're here with Jordan Hooker. And Jordan's a friend of mine and a coworker at Barbell Shrugged.
Hello.
And also is working on building a organization called Project Phenix,
Yes, sir. Project Phenix, Memphis.
which is, tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So basically, the way I see it is, and the way I tell people is, it's a big referral system for CrossFit gyms, but it focuses on people coming out of recovery. So what we're doing is trying to take someone who is coming out of a treatment center and adding health and fitness into their program of recovery, just to give them more accountability. The communities in my eyes are pretty similar. You've got a group of people working to better themselves and others, keeping each other accountable, and turning acquaintances into good friendships and lifelong connections that help you better your life. And I mean, if that would probably be my Cliff Notes version of
Yeah.
what I would say
That's awesome. Like, it's something that really has fascinated me over the over the last few years, being, starting to work out at a CrossFit gym and now owning a CrossFit gym. I've seen it a lot where I just see, like Wilson, for instance, and so many other people just use fitness as a way to help them through what they're going through, and that is really fascinating to me, and it's really amazing to watch sometimes.
Well, the parallels between my being an addict and an alcoholic, the parallels between my recovery and CrossFit are very similar. And I needed all the things that CrossFit offers the same way that I needed everything that recovery offers. And a lot of those things are exactly the same thing. You need people, and you need to change your life physically, and you need to change, basically everything about yourself, as you well know.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're how many years in now?
2 years. Just celebrated 2 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I honestly never thought I'd get to that point in my life where I'd go 2 years without a drink.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
I didn't ever think I'd make it 2 days.
Yeah.
So.
The most, I went 21 days at the end of 2013. That was the most I've gone without drinking since I was 16, and I'm 30.
Wow.
I'm 32, just to put that in perspective.
And were you
So
just white knuckling it, just holding
I was
on?
just trying. I was like, dude, you got to stop. You got to stop. Like, my girlfriend was getting ready to leave me. Like, she was getting ready to kick me out of the house and all that. I was like, you just got to try something. And I'm like, it was the hardest thing I ever did. And I made it 21 days. And then I went like a weekend and just I don't remember the weekend. And then finally it took like 6 more months, probably 7 months, until I was finally went to my parents and my grandparents and just broke down. I was like, dude, like, y'all got to send me to rehab. I don't have any more money.
I'm a
like,
wreck.
I'm
a wreck.
Literally, yes. I have spent everything I put in savings. I had a good job, making decent money, and there was nothing. There was nothing, and I was just like, dude, please.
What was the thing that made you, like, was there a one specific thing that kind of just pushed you over the edge to where, okay, this time I'm going to be successful, or something?
Was there something more screwed than everything else that was screwed?
I don't know if it was one specific thing. Losing Sarah, having her kick me out, and telling me that she didn't even want to try anymore was huge. This is the love of my life. This is a girl I thought I was going to marry. We had talked about it. We had pretty much planned our life out, and then I screwed it up. So that was kind of the tipping point. But God, I hate to tell this because we're not supposed to war story. So I'm gonna try to keep this as non-war story as possible.
Sure.
But I guess the final straw was something you'd see out of a movie. I literally ended up in Vegas with a friend snorting cocaine off a stripper's boobs at like 5 a.m. after being awake for 36 hours.
Yes.
Like, that was literally, when I got home from that trip, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Something
Like,
is not in alignment with the way I was raised.
Yeah, and I look back at that, and if I had to pinpoint one thing that just made it click, it was that. And it's like, it's kind of funny, and it's like, oh, you'd see it in a movie, but it's like, you know, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that was really what got me to just say, all right, step back, look in the mirror, what's really going on. And after that, it still took me about a month or two before I figured it out. I started researching rehabs across the country and calling people and calling places. And then I finally found a place that worked for me.
Well, while all this was going on, while you were in the middle of your addiction, were you into CrossFit or any kind of exercise? Did you take care of yourself at all?
I tried. Like, that was part of what I was like, oh, I'll try to get in shape, and maybe that'll get me away from booze. So I joined.
Was there, yeah.
I joined Faction out strength and conditioning, and then I went for their fundamentals for 6 weeks, and then I did the weightlifting class. And I showed up to that weightlifting class. Alex Macklin was the coach. I showed up to that weightlifting class drunk probably like 9 out of the 12 classes. And this is 6 o'clock class. And my now girlfriend was in that class. I don't see the harm in that. And she would always post on Facebook. She'd be like, try not to reek of booze next time, or hey, why don't you show up on time this time? So I had tried it and tried being the key
all the
word.
while feeling like it's not that bad.
Yeah, and I was like, and I lost some weight, and I was like, this is cool, this is cool. Like, I just worked out for an hour and a half. Now I can go have 10 beers instead of 7.
Yeah,
so I earned those extra calories.
You certainly did.
So,
man. I did the same thing with Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, you've told some funny stories about walking in on a treadmill with your vodka or something,
and believed it to work.
Right.
You know, wanted it to work that badly. That's why I think that what you're doing is so incredible, because people in recovery, we get to a place where we don't know what's going to help. You know, we just know that something's got to give, something's got to change, and that something. You know, a lot of times we have to have that put in front of us before we know how to go get it. And so walking into a place like CrossFit that's full of people that are, if they're not already addicts, they certainly are accepting. They all have that kind of wacko mentality of let's just go hard and get after it. And it's, you know, it is an addiction. It can become an addiction. And, you know, that's what, as an addict, I don't have any plans of not being an addict. I just need some positive outlets to take my addiction.
That's what my counselor Jacob always says. He's like, you just switched your addiction. It's not that you're not an addict. He's like, now you're just addicted to CrossFit and being healthy.
Right.
He's like, he's like, there's nothing wrong with that. He's like, you are an addict at heart, and that's just how you're going to be regardless of what it is. It's just good that you've switched it from alcohol and drugs to fitness, you know? So
unless you wake up and you're doing burpees on a stripper's ass in Las Vegas, then you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that earlier, like, and that's the fascinating thing that I mean, we see regular people get addicted to CrossFit all the time, like, and just can't get enough of it. They're here all the time, but that's just really, really cool to watch somebody come in and make that transformation and from that one addiction to something new that's actually helping them instead of hurting them.
It's generally not hard to spot, you know, whether it's in CrossFit or, you know, I see a lot of runners and you know, on the trail. And a lot of times I would like to say I don't judge people, but it's the first thing that I do. I see them and I think the way that person is just going after this, or the way that person's carrying themselves, they're in recovery. You know, they've got that inside them. So in here and out there on the trail and out there on the street, the tendencies are all the same. And it's just a matter of where are we gonna move these habits? You know, there's gonna be habits. What are we gonna do with them? And I think that Project Phenix is, I mean, that's a great outline. How does that work? Do you have a structure for that?
Not really. It's been in the beginning stages for 2 years.
Yeah.
So there is no real outline or structure. I've had 1 or 2 people come through so far, and
you've had participants.
Yes,
in it.
they've gone to faction strength and conditioning, and we'll leave their names out. Just but they've gone to faction and done some things. They're not still with the program. That's unfortunate, but it happens. Relapse does happen. But really, there is no structure. That's one thing that I've never been a scheduled, structured person, which is probably not a great thing for trying to start a business. But really, I've talked to some gyms. Like I've talked to Vaughn about it before. I've talked to Flag City Faction and a couple other CrossFit gyms that are still up in the air about it, and that's pretty much my structure.
Well, just so
I go talk to them and say, hey, would y'all be interested in participating in this program? It costs nothing to you. I'm going to give you members, and you don't have. No one needs to know why they're here. They're just a new member. If they choose to tell their story or be open about what they're doing, that's on them. Yeah. But like I said, there's not a lot of structure. It's new to me.
I would imagine you'd need a lot of structure. I mean, the beauty of the system is that you've got something to work on, and you're trying to help other people, which is a huge part of recovery. It's hard to have much recovery if you're only focused on yourself.
Right.
So you're trying to help other people. This is something that I would imagine probably wouldn't need a lot of structure as long as your heart's in the right place and
I don't think it does.
Put it out there.
As long as you're getting these people the help that they need and adding something that's going to better them, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't think there's a huge need for like a trickle down structure. Get them from point A to point B. If it helps them, awesome. If it doesn't, let's try to help them in another way. Because fitness isn't for everybody. Yeah. Some people just aren't inclined to getting off the couch and doing their thing, so maybe they need something else. But I mean, I come from an athletic background, so I immediately I was like, all right, that's what I'm doing. And just to make this clear, this is not my brainchild. This is a program I'm just taking and I'm building on. This was in my rehab. We're required to do CrossFit 1 hour a day, 4 days a week with yoga on Thursday.
Really?
Yes.
Where was that? Can you say where?
Yeah, Anchor West in Austin, Texas.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
So it's a 3-month program, 90 days, inpatient. It's very, very militarized. Our head, the director is, I want to say he's like 21 or 22 years sober. He's a former Marine. So, I mean, it is like,
no bullshit
it
kind
is,
of place.
We call it, it's like the sister. There's the Arbor in Georgetown, Texas, which is your big fancy one. It's, you get horses. Everybody gets their own horse. They get to drink Coca-Cola. They get to eat junk food. And then you come to Anchor West, and it's the military version. We're up at 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Beds pressed and tucked like hospital corners is what we call it. If you're not, then you don't get to do this or that for the day. We don't get sodas. We don't get ice cream. We get to drink milk with one bowl of cereal in the morning. Like, it's very crazy structured, and they added that in there because they knew that not CrossFit, but fitness will add to your self-confidence.
Yeah,
you know, if you look, as addicts, we never look good. If I look back at pictures 2 years ago, half the time, like, you know what I mean? Big old belly, just like beer in my hand and a cigarette in the other hand. And if you get out there, and this is what I think that they went for with that, is boosting your self-confidence, helping yourself be better will help you in your recovery as well. Because you're depressed and when you're drinking that much, you don't think much of yourself, you know. At least I did.
Shit just didn't fire it. You know, you don't have the endorphins. You don't have all the feel-good juices. You burned all that out synthetically. So you need something to get the machine back going again, and it's a slow process. And you know, you got to have structure with that. That's not something that I tried going to my church gym. You know, I tried going to do it on my own, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. You said that the rehab that you did CrossFit, did they recognize it as CrossFit, or did they just
Yes, they're affiliate. Westlake CrossFit was the name of the gym that we went to.
Were you in there with other normal people, or was it?
We weren't allowed to talk to them. It was mainly females, and we were not allowed to talk to females for 3 months.
Yeah.
We would get in trouble if we thought.
And I'm sure they were all dying to talk to you.
Oh God.
Bunch of
Not really.
druggies and alcoholics.
We were not talking. Well, you got like these hot chicks doing CrossFit and next to nothing, and then they're
Bunch of
this far
fat,
apart. And they're
sweaty
like,
guys.
if you talk to them, you're not going to a meeting tonight.
Oh man.
It's just like, oh man. I got in trouble 3 times. They actually called my father. And were like, your son has a problem talking to females. And my dad was like, well, he's just like his daddy. What do you expect?
Yeah, it sounds like a
And,
terrible problem.
they were like, no, but it's part of the program and it's a serious situation. What do you want me to do? So they like had me talk to my dad about 3 weeks in, and he was like, you can go 2.5 more months without talking to a girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll try.
Wow.
Let's see what's up. Because this is an all male rehab. It was only 16 people living in one house. It was the real world for rehab. It was
Really?
16 dudes living in a 4,000 square foot house with 1 kitchen and 2 bathrooms. And
Jeez.
it was insane. And everything was structured on a time schedule. So, I mean, like, if only 8 of us could get a shower before we had to be at our 9 o'clock community, okay, 8 of y'all get a shower, the other 8 don't.
Uh-huh.
Like, if we were late after we went from CrossFit, you got about 30 minutes to get ready. You ate, and then you went to meeting. If you were late for dinner, we didn't go to that meeting because it screwed up the schedule. You know, I mean, they were very, very strict on us because you need to be. You have to
Right.
be.
Well, I got when you got in there, how long was it before they said, get your ass up out of bed and get to CrossFit? Like, did you have to, we're going to get to work right now.
The first day I got there, they were in CrossFit, so I got dropped off at the CrossFit gym.
Oh, my God.
So I'm in cowboy boots, khaki pants, and a button down, and they're like, get on the rower. I was like, what the fuck is a rower? I'd never seen a rower in my life.
Wow.
I've seen like the ski things that like they did on infomercials in the 90s, but
Right.
they're like, yeah, get on the rower. At least you got boots on. It's got a hill. It's kind of like weightlifting
man.
shoes. And I was like, oh, this is a
Wow.
bad idea.
So
It's
this
like,
was your
Dad,
first
don't
time
do
that was your first time in a CrossFit gym?
No.
Really?
I'd been to Faction, but I'd literally never used the rower.
Okay.
I'd just done the weightlifting with Alex.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah, you
during the
said that.
fundamentals, it's basically the PVC
Yeah.
pipe. So, and I was, like I said, I was drunk like 96% of the time I was there. So I don't remember too much. I don't really remember too much my first 3 months.
Well, I'd be curious to know how much benefit there is in just jumping in there headlong and saying you don't have time. You know, I took 6 months, 9 months to feel sorry for myself and wallow in my own pity before I was able to see that, you know, I still had a lot of changes to make besides not just drinking and drugging. And so I'd be curious to see if there would be more of a success rate, people coming straight from treatment and going right into CrossFit, versus people that try to sober up and do their own thing for a little while and then come barreling in here.
I'm not, obviously, I don't have any stats, but based off the guys that I know who went into the program with me, there are, we had 16, it's rotating doors, so there's probably about 35 guys that I met total, the 3 months that I was there. And out of the ones that have kept doing CrossFit, I know 5 have kept doing CrossFit. 3 of them are still sober. It's not including myself.
That's a high success rate.
Yeah, I would say that that's pretty successful based on the fact that I was in there with 30 to 35 guys, and those are the only guys that are still sober. The ones that kept with CrossFit are the ones that are still sober, minus one. One of my buddies, it just wasn't for him, but he just hit about like 27 months. So out of all of them, the guys who did CrossFit when they left are the ones that are still sober.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't are not.
Well, I had heard a stat in between 2011 and 2012, and I can't verify this, so my stats can be off. But the people that were in a treatment center, that between 4 and 6% stayed sober for a year. So that's 1 in 20 for people that were institutionalized for drug and alcohol addiction, dual addiction. So the odds are not good.
No, not at all.
To begin with. So trying something new certainly is not going to harm you any worse than staying the same.
Yeah.
And that's what most people choose to do, is figure it out on their own. And, we'll just, I'll change this around, that around. And this CrossFit is structured enough to where they change around what you need to be changed around, not necessarily geared towards addiction, but, with as far as your fitness goes, we'll change things around. You just come here and get to work.
Yeah, you get here and put in the work, and we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree, and that's something they put in. Going back to this stat of X amount of people actually staying sober for a year, they told us that all the time. We had community at 9:00 every morning, so you'd be in a circle with everybody, and you'd have to point out 3 things that someone else did wrong the next day, and not in a way to like demean them, but in a way to help them. So like hygiene, blah blah blah, was big, but they would tell us, they were like, look around at this circle. 2 of y'all is going to be sober in a year. Which 2 is it going to be? They're like, we're not doing this to scare y'all. We're not doing this to be mean to y'all. That's just the reality. Like, how bad do you really want this? Like, listen to what we're teaching you, do what we're telling you to do, and maybe you'll be one of those 2 people. We got lucky, and we have about 4 or 5 of us that actually stayed sober. And like I said, all but one of them continue with CrossFit after.
Yeah.
So there's no statistics on it, but the correlation is like, hey, if you add healthy, it doesn't have to be CrossFit, but if you add healthy habits into your life after rehab, if that's what you choose to do, then you probably have a little bit better success rate.
So what do you tell somebody if somebody is in treatment and you're speaking to a group of people in treatment, or somebody who's really struggling? Is there qualifications? Do they have to be coming out of a treatment center, or can their mom just say, Jimmy's got to come up here?
We do. The way that I've had it set up so far is, yes, they do need to be coming out of recovery. I'm never going to turn anybody down that is asking for help. Like, that would be totally against what the program is.
Right.
So, I mean, if Joe Schmo came and was like, hey, my son has not gone to treatment, but I think this will help him. He's got problems. Will you help him? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no requirement that you have to come out of treatment. It's just, that's who we're gearing it towards, because those people, for the most part, they know what it takes already. They've been kind of pushed down that right path, so we're just adding something to make them more successful. I will help anybody that asks. It does not matter.
Yeah.
Like, you could been drunk for 20 years and 4 hours ago you were like, I want to try CrossFit and get sober. Cool. Come over. Let's work something out. Let's
Awesome.
help you. So yeah, there's no set
And
rules
so then
about that.
all the details can work themselves out as long as we can get you here, get you moving, and we'll see what happens. We can worry about the financial part later. And I like your structure. I like your structure is lack of structure, and I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's an open structure.
The only thing I need to hear is a structured plan, and then believe that I can't make that structured plan, and I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say coming out of treatment. Well, I don't see myself making X amount of dollars in 3 months, so I just won't even go the first month.
Well, that's a great, that's one of the big things, is helping with financial responsibility. So when we do get you in there, it's a sliding scale. So at the beginning, so right when you're coming out of rehab, you probably don't have a job again. You're probably relying on your parents or your wife or your brother and sister to help you out financially. I know I was. So the scale starts for like the first 3 months, it's X amount of the gyms, what they normally charge. And then from month 4 to 6, it bumps up a little bit more, and then so on and so forth till you get to the actual amount that the gym normally charges. So that way you can add that financial responsibility. And it's not some huge burden where you're like, CrossFit's so expensive. How am I going to do this? I don't have a job. I just got out of rehab. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. We can help with that. And Project Phenix makes no money off of this.
Yeah.
This is 100%
Altruistic.
service work. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's no money to be made for Project Phenix. So that's something that we do, is like, we try to take that burden of like, oh, CrossFit costs $150 a month. Well, we can actually help with that as well.
Yeah,
So,
you're like, damn it. I don't have that excuse anymore.
yeah,
I'm running out of
that's not an
excuses.
excuse. We try to get rid of the excuses.
I'm running out of places to go.
No more excuses. No more I'm sorry's. Let's just do it.
Just show
Let's
up
just
and
do
get it done.
If you get here and put in the time, we will get there and put in the time. You know what I mean? If you're willing to give us the effort, then we're going to give you the effort. You know.
Uh-huh.
So, It's the lack of structure is actually
I don't know
a
that
benefit.
I think it's great. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any other way to do it, especially with your market. There's certainly no shortage of people, who are suffering from addiction or alcoholism, who are looking for a place to go.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that place that we want to go is not going to be to CrossFit because we want easy. All of us want easy, and we want to do as little as possible. But what's waiting on the other side is fantastic. I mean, this is the gateway to a different life.
Yeah, it really is, and a happier, healthier life, man.
Yeah.
And it's something that I learned. Like a lot of things came easy to me in my life. I didn't grow up poor or anything like that. My dad was a football coach, so I got to start because when I got to there, so nothing was just so super hard for me. Like I had to give 50% where other people had to give 100, and I still got the same rewards. And when I got out of rehab, I sat my parents down. I was like, "Don't give me anything." I was like, I don't want your help. I cannot have your help or I'm going to fall back in. And working hard since I've gotten back is so much more rewarding than half-assing it and still get to start at quarterback. You know what I mean? Or getting your natural talent to do whatever. It's just like, okay, you can put in a little bit of effort. That's cool. But then when you really, really work hard at something and you reap the rewards, it's just like, whoa, that was so much cooler.
Yeah.
So...
And you give people like us something, and what we take of that is we need something more.
Yeah.
A little bit more. And so the way that you have it structured, or having a plan to let's use this to benefit ourselves in hopes of us getting to a better place in our life where we can take care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because once you start feeling that change and feeling good about yourself, you don't want anybody taking care of you.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into a gym every day and they're like, hey, man, thanks for letting me come work out for free. You want to bring a check. You want to bring some cash. And, then after that, you do exactly what you're doing. You look around and you start thinking, this is great. I'm finally sober. Now how can I help the other poor fuck who's struggling?
Yeah.
Let's get busy helping some other people. So, you saying that Project Phenix is not your idea means nothing to me. The fact that you're doing Project Phenix and you're, carrying something out, I think that's fantastic, man. My hat's off to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I was going to say, like, you're taking somebody and putting them into a community where all of a sudden they've got all these people, for around them that want them to succeed. They compete with them. They become friends. It's like a gigantic support group.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it really is. These, all the people that I've met through CrossFit, those are my friends now. Those are the people that I'm with. I still have a couple friends from my old life, the people who wrote me during rehab, the ones who called, the ones who made an attempt to still keep up with me. And those are the 2 or 3 people that are still in my life from back in the day. And now it's my CrossFit community has really become my family. We hashtag everything faction family. We really do. Yeah. And we all hang out together. We do everything together. Mm-hmm. And it's boosted my life being around these type of people.
We all need it. We all need community.
And it's crazy. Yeah, we really do. And it's so crazy to look back at the people I hung out with before, and not that they're not successful in what they do, but looking at them like we've been friends for 20 years, and we talk shit to each other. We're always trying to joke on each other and tell each other how bad they're doing to make each other look better and this and that. And that doesn't happen with these guys. We'll joke and BS and be like, oh, your kettlebell swings weren't high enough. That doesn't count, no rep, bro. But it's not like, for example, in our fantasy football league before I left, we were cracking jokes on each other so bad to where it got so personal that 3 people stopped being friends that have been friends since we were elementary school. And they don't talk. And I'm one of those people that stopped talking to them. And I'm just like, did we really just stop a lifelong relationship over talking shit in fantasy football? And looking back on it, that's all it is. We'd go to the bar and we'd just talk shit to each other. We'd go to the basketball games and we'd just talk crap in between, cheering for our team. And it's just I can see how it gets in you to get depressed. And you're like, well, if all we're doing is talking crap, I might as well have 4 more shots so I don't have to remember this crap. You know what I mean? And looking back
there's
on
a
it,
piece of you that takes home those things that are said to you.
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe that or not, there's a piece of you that absorbs, that critiquing and that critical
it's there.
talk
They
and
say,
smack talk.
Sticks and stones, but like words stick. And I've learned that. I'm a very opinionated person. Vaughn and I are Facebook friends. I'm sure he sees some of my posts. I'm not afraid to express my opinion.
It's very entertaining.
But I've tried a lot harder in the last few weeks to not have negative opinions. For instance, because I saw myself reverting back to, with this whole election, like talking so much crap to people who didn't want to vote for the people that I wanted to vote for. And I started seeing that mentality come back of like, I'm just going to talk crap to them and like put them down. And a couple weeks ago, I was like, wait a minute.
Old behavior.
Old behavior. So I went and deleted anybody who talks politics. I didn't unfriend, I unfollowed. I went and unliked any politicians, any newscasting, even the ones that I support. I just got rid of it because I was like, this is what I was doing before I got right.
Uh-huh.
And it's starting to happen again. And not that I'm thinking about drinking, but I never know. Maybe one person says something about a candidate I don't like, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to have a beer. You just never know. So you can just, that mentality, it's so quick. It comes back, and within months, I was like, oh my God. Please.
But it's nice that you have that awareness and that reference point of, what you were and what you are. And you're also aware that you can be what you were pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah, you can fall back in so fast.
Has Vaughn told you about our Goal Getter Challenge that we're doing?
No, sir.
We're doing this Goal Getter Challenge that is sort of the same line. We're trying to get people to set a 6-month goal, and we're giving away $500 for whoever wins it. And then what we're trying to do is get people to set a 6-month goal, put themselves on video just saying, my name is John, my 6-month goal is this, and to check in once a week. And so, the hopes is essentially the same thing as Project Phenix, that people will wake up, that hopefully we can get. I told Vaughn last week that I'm more interested in the person that is afraid to get off the couch and jog to the mailbox than I am the person that's trying to go from a 5-hour marathon to a 4-hour marathon. The real difference lies within the, trying what you thought you could never do.
Yeah.
And then coming into a place like this or the trails or wherever you go to get your fitness and watching the lights come on slowly, very slowly. But you get out and you get around people and you set goals and you accomplish these things and your life changes.
I need to get my roommate on that challenge.
Yes,
for laundry and dishes.
Yeah, you need to get him on the 6-month laundry and dishes challenge.
6-month laundry and dishes challenge. I'm signing you up.
And you can win rent. You
Yes.
can rent $500.
Yes. Oh man, I've been trying to work on him because he's struggling a little bit right now, and I've seen him. And God is my thing with religion. He's my higher power, and I see it as this is a longtime friend that's struggling. They put him in my, put him in my path, and he asked for some help, and so I let him move in. I've been helping him, and I'm slowly getting him, like, do the laundry. Don't just put it back on top. Fold it if you take it out, because he would literally take wet stuff and just put it on top of the laundry and do something else, and I'm like, we're going to work on these adult things first, and then we're going to work on you not drinking. Because he always tells me, he's like, I got to stop drinking. He works at 2 bars, and he comes home at 5 every morning, which it doesn't bother me because I'm already asleep, and he doesn't get wasted at my house or anything like that, so he doesn't bring it there. He has once, and I looked at him with the dad eyes, and he was just like, all right. They, like, all turned around and left.
Yeah,
like,
right.
He's like, sorry, man. But, I'm going to get him on that 6-month goal with this laundry and dish thing.
Oh, he's on it.
He is.
Get anybody that you can. It should be fun. It'd be interesting. Yeah. And hopefully you'll get some response, get some awareness, and get some people calling you about this.
Oh, yeah, you're going
about
to.
the Project Phenix.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. I mean, that's a great thing that you're doing, and it's something that I don't want to say it can't go wrong, because anything can.
Yeah.
But other than the emotional side of having people come in and the reality that people are going to go out. There's going to be a lot of people that come into something like that, and a lot of people that don't make it. But there's people coming in there with hope, and if you can get to one of them, you've done a lot more than a lot of people get.
One person can change another person that can change another person. That's what I've looked at it. If I can help one person, maybe they can help one person, and that person can help another person. Then, your one person turns into 10 or 15, even though you physically only got one person off of alcohol or drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe the lineage, down the tree, boom, 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 and it turns into 15 or 20 people that have been helped by the one person you helped.
And if nothing else, the fact that you're walking the line keeps all the people that love you, helps them to not have to worry about the kind of crap that we put them through.
My mom posted something on Facebook the other day in regards to that. It was right around my 2-year. And I forgot what it was, because, Jesus, my memory is terrible. They do not tell you, watch out, alcohol will destroy your memory. I have the worst problem with memory.
I'm pretty sure they told me that. And I just didn't
Exactly. Yeah. But she wrote something on Facebook, and it was, like I said, it was right around my 2 years, and she was like, I'm just so grateful that I'm not getting calls from the police. I'm not worrying if he's going to wreck his car. I'm not worried if I'm going to get a call from the hospital, or if Dennis is my father. If Dennis is going to call me saying, I could go to wherever and go bail Jordan out of jail again, you know what I mean? And that was kind of cool to see. I was like, whoa, that's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Mom.
Well, please know if there's anything I can ever help you do, I am fully on board and want to help in any way. And I'm pretty sure Vaughn's on board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. We are definitely on board. If somebody's out there, what do you want them to do? Like, how do they get in touch?
You can email projectphoenixmemphis.com. You can email me at cjhooker10@gmail.com. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. I'm working on the website. It's still under construction, because building a website by yourself is terrible. I'm not that tech savvy, even though I know Vaughn has literally offered help multiple times, and I'm too stubborn to just take the help. So projectphoenixmemphis.com will be up soon. But yeah, you can direct message me, Instagram, Facebook message me, personal email me, email me at projectphoenixmemphis.com. Any of those, I will answer. I will be talking to you. I'm the sole person at this moment, so
all right,
just holler at me.
Well, with that, I appreciate you, I commend you, and I respect you for doing what you're doing, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right.